absence due to COVID-19 protocol and is confident heading into the rivalry matchup. Take a listen.
We know what people think of us. We love that. We're comfortable who we are, where we are. But I'm excited about what's in front of us because, we're going to win this game. I'm confident in that. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, I fully expect to win every game I've ever competed in. That's what sports is all about. That's what the NFL. Trust me, I understand how hard it is. They're working hard. We're working hard. But yeah, we're clearly planning on going to Washington to win the game. There's no doubt about that.
Shannon, will this confidence help or hinder the Cowboys on Sunday?
That's your coach. You sticking with it?
Unfortunately, yep.
Skip, you know what? I wouldn't have a problem. Let me give you an example. When I was in Denver, had Mike said something like this, knowing how hard he fought us being overconfident and putting bulletin board material out there, he fought so hard against that. So if he were to say that, I'm looking at him like, hold on, wait a minute. Why would you? Now, on the flip side, I go to Baltimore for 2 years. Had Brian Billick said that, we're jumping up and down because that's who he is. That's not who he is.
That's also who you were.
That's who we were as a team also, Skip.
But you could back it up.
Yes, Skip. We've heard you talk, Mike McCarthy. That's not your so now that's your motivational ploy. Because Skip, anytime a coach writes a check, his team has to cash it to say a check. Got no problem. I got no problem if that's his MO. If that's what he does, I'm all for that. But it seems to me that he's trying to be something that he's not. He's trying to say, well, you know what, guys, we're going to win this game. I agree. What are you supposed to say? But normally, I've never really heard a coach in the NFL. Maybe you have. You've been around this game a lot longer than I have. Maybe you heard a coach say, we're going to win this. We're going to win this. But you're talking about a Week 14 game. You ain't talking about a playoff game, Skip. You're not talking about the Super Bowl. You're talking about a Week 14 game. And you say, I'm guaranteeing a victory. So if you lose, then what? Yeah, everybody goes down. Everybody's trying to win the game. It's not unique to you, Mike McCarthy. Sometimes, Skip, I just don't get what he's trying to do. I understand that. I think he's heard himself speak like, man, that was a lousy job of motivating my team. I can see why my team didn't come out there and really play with any passion. I didn't give them anything to be passionate about. Ron Rivera said you don't guarantee wins for a written reason. You're trying to get in our head. You're trying to convince your team. He made it about him. I think that's a big mistake. He has a 2-game lead with 5 games to play. Everything that the Cowboys want to accomplish, Skip, is still in front of them. But I just don't. I don't get McCarthy in this situation, why he needed to do that. Bruh, they just won a game without you. They just showed you how unimportant you are.
Correct. Thank you.
You just won a game. I'm going to let you take it away.
Bingo.
But that's your guy. That's your guy. You got a made man, though.
I have told you since day one back in training camp after I saw Hard Knocks, my team is going to have to rise above and win in spite of, number one, my head coach, and number two, my owner and operator and GM, Gerald Wayne Jones Jr.
A.K.A. Jerry.
A.K.A. Jerry. I have seen and heard enough of both of them. When it comes to guarantees, I have seen a lot of coaches try, and most of them fail.
Right.
Because most guarantees in my many years covering this league, especially in this league, they backfire more than they inspire.
Right.
There was one classic guarantee dropped by Jimmy Johnson before a home playoff game, NFC Championship game following the 1994 NFL season, in which Jimmy Johnson called on Saturday, actually Friday night it would have been, a Dallas radio show and said, I guarantee we're going to beat the 49ers. He called in to make this guarantee because he wanted it out there, and he said, you can put it in headlines. And the next day, the Dallas Morning News put it in front page headlines. Jimmy Johnson guarantees Cowboys will beat the Steve Young's 49ers.
Right.
Jimmy was just laying his cards down. He knew exactly what he had.
Yeah.
It's Raven-esque. He's got the goods. He's got the better team. They just thought that they believed Troy was better than Steve Young. They believed that Steve Young would throw it to them in the biggest moments because Steve Young had yet to prove he could, as he used to say, get the monkey off his back, right? So Jimmy just said, I got a royal flush here, and I just drop it right in the middle of the table.
Right.
And guess what? That happened.
Yeah.
They just backed it right up and went right on to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay, that's a whole different scenario than this one.
Right.
You know and I know what just happened to my head coach. He was forced by COVID to sit in a hotel room by himself in Frisco, Texas, and watch a week ago, last Thursday night, Thursday night, watch his team win a game without him at New Orleans with Dan Quinn, former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons,
Correct.
who actually head coached the Falcons all the way to a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. He's got that on his resume. It did not go well after that.
Correct.
But he got that done. He got to that moment in his life, and Mike McCarthy knows all too well he is a made man as far as he has been a successful head coach in this league, and he is a threat to Mike McCarthy in my humble estimation.
Okay.
So what did we see on that Thursday night? Dan Quinn came down out of the press box, kept his hat on backward, and he's just lighting up the sideline with a lot of hugging and kissing and butt slapping, and here we goes. And it was fun. It gave a new energy to the sidelines. And I, for one, I told you the next day, I really appreciated it. And I hoped, against all hope, that Mike McCarthy would see his way fit to keep Dan Quinn down on the sideline, just to change the mood of it, the tone of it, because it's always so deadheaded down there with drop the mic, Mike.
But no, you wanted to see his way to stay in that hotel for another week or two. That
would have been fine. So what classically happened? What is this guy known for? Lame reaches for motivation, because he's not a gifted motivational speaker, as we painfully had to watch again and again through the Hard Knocks.
Correct.
He got exposed and he knew it.
Right.
So what did he do a year ago? He had them take sledgehammers to watermelons the night before a game at Minnesota. And what did he do this year? He talked about monkey butt powder because they had the red ass. Okay, right? And that's supposed to inspire the team. And I'm thinking of Shannon Sharp sitting up there in those meetings when they have the full team meeting, and you are trying not to laugh out loud. And you're looking sideways at everybody.
I'm looking at who else is not trying to laugh out loud.
And who is going to laugh out loud at monkey butt powder? So he comes out, he says, "What? I'm desperate here. I got to do something to show I'm back and I'm in charge." Well, what's the best way to say I'm in charge? How about I guarantee a victory at Washington?
That's it.
I'll try this. And if you listen to the guarantee line, there were two uhs before, because he was like,
he was thinking, he was like, okay, what can I say?
Am I going to really? And we are going to win this game. You are? Okay, what is happening here? Why is this the worst thing that he could say at this moment? And I'm not saying it's going to be lethal on Sunday at Washington, but it will not help. It will definitely help inspire the home team versus the road team, because the home team, the Washington football team, has won 4 straight games. They beat the GOAT. They beat Brady in Washington. Then they went to Cam in his fairy tale return to Charlotte and the Carolina Panthers, remember? And they beat him. Taylor Heineke outplayed Cam Newton, right? And then on a Monday night at Washington, Taylor Heineke outplayed Russell Wilson. And then just last Sunday, they went to Las Vegas and beat a Raiders team that had just humiliated my team
on Thanksgiving.
At Dallas on Thanksgiving Day or evening. Okay, well, think about that. They've won 4 in a row to get to 6-6. Their, as they say, their destiny is controlled by the Washington football team, because I'm going to remind everybody, Dallas has to play at Washington, then Dallas has to go to the Giants, and then Dallas goes home and plays Washington again. So 2 of the next 3 games are against a team that is 2 games behind you in the division. And by the way, if we look hard at these 2 remaining schedules, what is the glaring difference in our schedule versus Washington's remaining? There's one glaring difference.
You got Arizona.
We got Arizona, and they don't. They got all division games left. And again, Philly, New York, Dallas, okay, it's all, it's still the NFC.